Howdy heartthrobs, another day, another e-bike review, and today I have got for you the Eleglide M2. What do you get for your money? I believe the 29-inch wheels, suspension on the front, lockable suspension, 100mm of travel. You have got 160mm disc brakes front and rear, which are hydraulic. Very, very good. You've got a Shimano Tawny drivetrain offering you 21 gears. Hardtail, external battery, 15.6 amp hour, 36 volt, I believe. Lights on the front. You do have a light on the back, but it is a battery operated take on and off normal cycle light, so you do not have any brake lights. It has got quick release saddle, quick release poke through spindle front wheel thingy. Absolutely brilliant. It works a treat. You can see they have cut some corners with costs, not including the rack, not including mud guards, but they have got those hydraulic disc brakes and 21 gears. Obviously entry-level suspension. Yeah, the pedals hold your feet well. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell, basically. It's not a heavy bike. I will insert the weight down here because I've forgotten it, but it's really not heavy. When you take that battery off, it's just a normal mountain bike. It is a 250 watt motor, hub drive, cadence sensor bike. 5 levels of power assist. Yeah, what more needs to be said? I'm going to take you around now, let you see what it's got. I'm then going to take you on a ride, about 25 miles, giving you some up-to-date thing and give you my final thoughts at the end. So let's have a look at the cockpit. As you can see there, you've got an LCD display, very easy to see in bright sunlight. There's your disc brakes. They're not the disc brakes, they're the brake levers, but it does come with hydraulic brakes. Thumb and finger shifter, right and left, inclusion of a bell, some decent, nice, wide handlebars. As you can see here, the fit and finish of the frame and everything is rather good. You come down to the back, entry-level Shimano Tawny gear set, but it is a 21 speed gear set. You have got there your 250 watt motor, and again your 160mm disc brakes. All of the wire is routed through the frame. You've got there your light. There's your shocks. You can see the travel that I've had on these shocks. I did bottom out. You can see there again your brakes from the other side and your quick release spindle. Big wheels, 29-inch by 235. Look at it. Not a bad looking bike. I actually like the way that the battery is big and bulky on the outside. It probably means it's going to spend less time getting nicked. I have just noticed here this, which probably means you can add a throttle. I haven't added a throttle, but it probably means you can. Let's get riding. So then, as usual, let's see what this pedal's like as a bike. Starting off in 8th gear out of the 21. And as you would expect, no problems. Let's scroll through these gears a bit. Straight out of the box, not adjusted them in any way. That's really good, to be fair. Control wise, it rides like any mountain bike. Full size wheels, full size frame, front suspension. What is not to like? I'm impressed by the way they've changed through those gears. One issue I can see, unless you're on your toes on the pedals, you can hit that front wheel if you're turning sharply. It's rather close. I may have already showed you, or I will show you later. You're definitely getting home if you run out of battery. So we're coming up to our first 10% hill of the day. Let's crank the power assist up. I'm already doing over the speed. Just drop that down. Straight into power assist 3, because I'm now at 10 miles an hour. And yeah, that's straight in. It goes up to power assist 5. I'm doing 13 miles an hour, up a 10% hill in, what's that, gear 14. It's an absolute doddle. It boasts 55 Newton meters of climbing. Crank up one more. And you have got the 21 gears that you can flip through should it start getting a chore. Now we'll see how it copes with a little bit of speed. Going down a steep hill. And straight away we are up to 30 mile an hour. Zero problems, as you would expect. I have to say that for the price point of this bike, yeah, it's a real good bit of kit. The fit and finish of it is absolutely fine. It is effectively a mountain bike, 21 gear mountain bike, with a battery and a motor shoved on it, and that's what it looks like. But there's no issues with riding it. You got the standard delay of 2 seconds, or a pedal rotation or 2 before the motor kicks in. But when it kicks in, it does give you a little, have some of that. And there is a definite change between the power assists that you feel. But here we go again, another 10% hill, and I'm having a brake. That's interesting. The motor obviously cuts off immediately when you brake. The suspension may be a little soft. There's a little bit of a nosedive there, but you can lock that out. So we're just coming out to the first little bit of cycle path. The kissing gate that we go through is a little bit tight to start. Let's crank you down a bit, purely because I'm hooning. The setup of this bike, standard seat, hardtail with front suspension, as I've already mentioned. Let us, got a little old lady there with her dog. Crank down the power a bit. Coming through on the left. Thank you, darling. Now, will it make it through the kissing gate? No problems. Down into pedal assist 3. Sitting at 11 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour, 13. Oh, interesting. I don't know about unlocking these bikes or anything like that. I test them as they come out the box. I think it's got a range of 80 kilometres, so 50 miles. Obviously take into account that will be 75 kilogram rider, power assist 1. The thing I really do like is take the battery off this. You've got a standard bike. The other thing as well, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, but because it has got the honking battery just stuck on the outside of it, is it going to be less nickable to people? Do they want the flashy fat tyre bikes and all that sort of shizzle? I don't know. I'm waffling rubbish. They even appear to have the brakes around the right way. Double win. So here we go then on our first bit of gravel. Nothing too bad, it is still a cycle path, but it is a little bit uneven. We've had a lot of wet weather. I wouldn't expect to have any problems with these tyres on here. Because of their size, it seems to glide over. My monkey stump isn't getting pummeled. All is good. The kit you get on this bike as well for the money, okay, you've got no mud guards. It is a hardtail. You have got the Shimano Tawny, which is the entry-level gear system, which works absolutely fine. But you do have Logan disc brakes, 160mm disc brakes. The right way round. That's quite impressive. And I can't keep going on about the price of this bike, but compared to some of the others, it's a real bargain. The ergonomics are fine. You do have to have the seat relatively high so that you're on tippy toes sitting on the seat at a standstill, but you can step off, and if you're average height, you shouldn't nut yourself on the frame. You might do. I'm quite long in leg for a short bloke. But as you can see here, bumpy enough, front suspension's doing its job. Not a bad place to be. And you can definitely carry the speed on and past the motor because you've got 21 gears. Is it the best quality? It's not going to be any worse than like the entry-level Halford's bike or the Trek Marlin or anything like that. It looks absolutely fine. There's nothing there that looks out of place. Quick release front wheel, puncture resistant tyres. I'll find more negatives as the ride goes on, because as I say, it is a normal bike seat and I've got a feeling it will enter me. Quick brake check, 16 mile an hour to the post. What's that? About 10 feet. That ain't bad going, and that motor kicks off even though I'm in a high gear. Not bad. So here we go then, my usual foray down a bumpy, rooty cycle path. Let's get to the relayed bit, which is obviously worse than the rest. You can feel it on the hooper dupe, but it's not bad. Obviously the fat tyre bikes I normally test out do a much better job of absorbing impact like that, purely because of their nature. But this is much easier to pedal in a straight line. I am leaning forward slightly, putting pressure on my palms. Again, I'm a little bit of an odd bod, long leg, short trunk. Certainly not uncomfy. Yet. Right, so as we're riding through a nice smooth bit of cycle path, let's run through stuff like the lights. You get a built-in front light that is operated by the controller, but you do have a detachable, normal, bog standard, whack batteries in it rear light, so no brake light. Again, that is reflected in the price. The information that you get on the screen, you get the normal power bars, but you also get a percentage of battery left, which is brilliant. Lets you gauge it a lot more. At the bottom of the screen, it shows you the power that you are using at any time. So you can obviously adjust your riding there to suit. What else have you got? You got an overall odometer, a trip odometer, a time riding. Obviously you've got your speed. What else we got? Average speed, which is good. Max speed. And that's about it. So we're coming through the section where we're riding through town. There obviously aren't going to be any problems with it. It's just a bleeding mountain bike. But you can get some looks when you're on the big old fat tyre beasts. Again, maintaining the higher speeds on this with the extra gears is a doddle. I think I'm averaging about 16.5 miles an hour at the moment. But yeah, it's just twisty, flies, just make sure your feet are back. So I am 8 miles in and I have just entered the rough, gravelly, up and downy, gonna be wet, muddy sort of cycle path for the next 8 miles. The seat is definitely a normal bike seat. Not gonna lie to you, I'm feeling a bit on my derriere. It is worth noting that for the last 9 days, I have been riding around the UK on a 350 mile trip on a Honda Z50 clone, which has no suspension, little tiny monkey bike. So my backside's taken a bit of a beating. Just bear that in mind. That could have something to do with the discomfort. I don't like bike seats at the best of times. Front suspension is definitely doing a job here. Rear suspension, you know you're riding a hardtail, but you are in fact riding a hardtail. As I always say in these reviews, I try to review these bikes for what they are. Every bike is different. And at the moment, with this thing, cost-wise, comfort-wise, usability-wise, after nearly 9 miles now, yeah, it's going to take some beating, I'm not going to lie to you. Eleglide were the first e-bikes that started chucking things out to YouTubers, and they were everywhere. And as such, I actually avoided them at the start. I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound, I'd give this one a try. And to be fair, I'm quite glad I did. Quite glad I did. If you're a commuter, perfect. A casual cycler, weekend cyclist, absolutely perfect. It gives you the best of both worlds. Chuck a rack on it, could you take it bike packing? I'm going to say yes, although I do need to see what range is left after this 20-mile trip. I'm currently sitting on 90% battery at 9 miles. That don't seem bad going. But at the moment, there's no massive rattles. It's quite a quiet engine. With the slim tyres, there's not a lot of road noise. You can hear I'm getting bumped about. I'm not sure if the settings on my new camera is set up for anti-vibration. I hope it is. But just maintaining 14 mile an hour with next to no power being delivered by the motor, it's a win-win for me. I'm using a different camera today. I've finally had enough of GoPro, and I may have damaged my Insta360 on that bike trip. So, hope the audio's okay, hope the visuals are okay. Hope it's not in too much high def, because my fat face. That one's for you, Burton Outdoors, currently outdoors. It doesn't come with any sort of throttle. It does have a walk assist mode or hill climbing mode, should you be pushing it after a particularly long ride. So gear selection, when you come into traffic lights and things like that, is a consideration. If you have just got Chris Hoy's legs like me, you can power through, give it a couple of seconds, and then that engine, motor, whatever you want to call it, kicks in. So standing up on this little beast is also no problem. The pedals are holding my feet absolutely fine. When we get to a place where I can do a little jump, I shall. It's very potholy in this little place. So if I haven't got the stabilisation on, you're definitely going to notice it. Is that one? Can I get air? Oh yeah, that front suspension is very soft. As I said to you, I bottomed out on takeoff and landing then. I don't know if you can alter that. I know you can lock it out. See if you can hear it again. Hear that? So, it does a good job of taking off the normal average bumps. If you are going to take it off-road, you may want to address that. Don't know what suspension it is, but it's a bit soft. Don't ruin the bike though. Yeah, I'm getting full travel just bouncing. The more you know. So at the risk of repeating myself, much like the last couple of bikes that I've reviewed, which have been basically proper mountain stroke touring bike styles, rather than fat tyre, rather than mini, etc, etc, it makes it very easy to maintain a higher level of speed with minimal amount of battery assistance with this bike. Thank you. Yeah, because of the gearing, it's it feels just like you're riding a bike. You know, you can feel that assistance there, and you do get to the top of the limit, and it's just giving you a little nudge every now and then. But all in all, you're putting a bit of work in yourself without noticing it. As I say, my average speed is over 16.5 miles an hour, and this thing's capped at 15.5. So at this point of the cycle path, it is exceedingly potholy and rough. The business end with my arms and hands, they're feeling absolutely fine. Obviously, I am going to get something transferred through that hardtail up to Biffin's Bridge. And yes, it is noticeable, but again, it is a hardtail. There are aftermarket solutions out there. You can get yourself a suspension seat post, or if Eleglide are listening to this, it wouldn't be a bad inclusion. I can see why you've made this a hardtail. Obviously for cost and weight, it is a light bike, and it is a very affordable bike. But people that live out in the sticks like myself, you're certainly going to notice it is a hardtail unless you're stood up, or a massive great big gel saddle, or eat 15 bags of donuts a day to give yourself a bit of a Gemma Collins. So I am 15 miles in, sitting at 67% battery remaining. Not bad going. I've not been easy on the battery either. Been sitting level 345, just keeping it so it's kicking in as I cycle. So yeah, it's doing well. It's doing well. We'll see how much that drops in the next 10, maybe 15 miles. Depends what route I take. But at the moment, if you're going to be getting 30, 40 mile an hour range out of the battery, which is what it appears to be, yeah, that ain't bad going. So we're at a standstill. I've whacked into fifth at the bottom of a really short but steep hill. So I think I am in 14th gear. Just see what this pulls away like before that motor kicks in to help me up this monster. I could have just hopped on the path, and I guarantee that car behind is saying, why didn't he hop on the path? Tough titties, I've got a test to do. Right, we're off. 1, 2, and we're here. That front wheel lifted a bit in fifth, and it is a doddle getting up this hill. Absolute doddle. Do feel sorry for that car behind, but I've got a job to do. Then pedal right away through the gears, back up into the highest, and we're once again flying. So we're 20 miles in, just coming into the rural roads, which is where I have my usual rant about the stupid e-bike laws in this country. Crank that up because that's quite a big steep hill. And I am almost in, I'm in 20th gear. I could always change down the gear, I suppose. Yes, stupid e-bike laws in this country about how they limit stuff with speeds, etc, etc, etc. You've all heard it before. I will always maintain it is actually more dangerous to limit the speed of these e-bikes to such a slow speed. It encourages dangerous overtakings. I'm currently doing 20 mile an hour on my own steam, on the flat. As soon as I get to hills, I'd like to be able to maintain it. Surely, if the speed limit was 28 mile an hour, you're not going to be holding up as many people, or they won't be as inclined to buzz past you. We have speed limits for cars. Cars can do more than the speed limit. You don't have your car taken away and crushed because it can. You get done if you're doing over that speed. Ludicrous. I know at the moment in this country, it is the least of our worries. but it still shows the utter stupidity. Rant over. I'm climbing a big hill at the minute. After I've got through this section, I've just got one massive hill left to climb, and then I'll let you know how it went. I'm currently sitting on, whilst climbing it, saying 43% battery, but I'm using a lot of the motor at the moment, so that'll probably jump up to about 50. I'll let you know when I'm closer to home. And there we go. Not bad. So we're on our final big long climb of the day. Gradually reaches up to about a 12% hill. Probably on about a 7 at the moment. I am going to have to work through my gears. I'm in pedal assist 5. It's definitely given me enough get up and go to get up and go. Although, would I say, it does feel like the power delivery is weaker than when I first started. Possibly. Possibly. It is a steep hill and I'm not in a low gear. What am I, 15, 16? It's getting me up at a doddle. Absolute doddle. My legs do feel like they've done a bit of a workout overall. But again, that is because it's easy to maintain your speed over the threshold of the motor kicking in. You want to take it easy and ghost pedal, do that. Look at that. Not an issue. Quick pickup. And we're off. I'll bring you back when I'm nearer to home to give you a rough final tally of battery, range, and all that's good stuff. So we are now coming in to just shy of 25 miles ridden, and it is saying I'll just give that a little bit of time to catch back up to itself, because I've just climbed a big hill and the power does drop, and then when you're not climbing the hill it climbs back up, and we are showing, come on, where are you, 30% battery left. Do the math on that. It may climb even higher now that I'm not using the pedals, but it's indicating 30% battery left after just shy of 25 miles. Another thing to note is, despite the fact I thought I was going to be in absolute turmoil with my Ricker, my bum's not too bad. It knows it's been on a bike seat, but you know, I do suffer with it. So all of these ranges and battery capabilities and stuff like that is with a 15 stone bloke, 200 and whatever pound, whatever you want to do, 90, 95 kilo, I don't bleeding know. Yeah, with plenty of hills. I'll take you back to me, stood in a field, talking about a bike. So what are my final thoughts on this bike? For the money, I'm seriously impressed, very impressed. Don't worry about these things dangling, that's just me in a tube so I don't scratch the bars with my clamps. Two negatives that I can find with this, and one thing that would improve it. The first negative, as I said, I believe, is if your feet are not on your toes, that front wheel can hit your feet. Yeah, bit of an exaggeration there, but you get the gist. The suspension, although it does work, does reach the end of its travel pretty quickly. And the thing that would make it a much more enjoyable ride would be an inclusion of the suspension seat post. You do not have any mud guards front or rear. You could get your back wet, you can add them. There is no rack, there is no brake light. You can see where they have saved their money. But with the inclusion of hydraulic disc brakes, you know, it's still a bit of quality. The fit and finish is really good. No cause for concern. And as I say, you take that battery off, it looks just like any other mountain bike. I've been impressed. The range is absolutely fine, comfort fine, rideability fine, quiet, nearly dying. All in all, top bike.